Good morning, traders. Happy Thursday. Soon to be rounding out the week here. Another beautiful day in the market. Well, not so beautiful. As you see, yesterday was a slaughterhouse as far as the overall market. Everything was down, 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 down. Everything got slaughtered. But, like I tell one of my good friends who we discuss stocks a lot with, everything is at a discount right now. When the overall public looks at it, they see it as panic and all those good things. But any real trader, I'm sure you guys know when stocks, sell off hard like that. Hey, that's just a stock on sale. I compared it to Walmart's rollback prices. um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, the stock market did a little sell off yesterday. So what I'm seeing thus far today, Um, as I've been looking over trades to put on the watch list, there's not many to put on the watch list at the moment. But what I'm seeing is what I'll call a rebound day or a rebound period, because that period can last longer than a day. It can be over the course of a week, month, or a year. But what I'm seeing is just a rebound time here, which is you'll see a lot of these stocks doing this, and I'll show you now. Actually, one second, I'll show you what I mean. But before I get to that, let's do a recap for yesterday. So yesterday, I made no trades, zero trades yesterday, which you can see by my equity. There was no trades yesterday. I didn't lose anything, didn't win anything. Just didn't see anything worthwhile. Um, and I actually applaud myself for that. And if you're able to go through a day with being patient and not just taking sporadic trades, you should applaud yourself as well, because that's actually something I've been trying to work on. Just learning how to sit on my hands. You know, when things are not moving as fast or as frequently as I'd like. But there was nothing that I saw that stood out that I want to trade, and I have to remember, and this is a good thing to remember, is the goal really is not necessarily to make money. It is to make money, but to protect your capital, protect your account balance. I think that should be the number one focus. And I know psychologically, human nature is especially when you get into this market, the first goal you want to make is to make money. You know what I mean? That's the whole purpose of getting in the market. So I definitely can understand that mindset, but I think we need to have a more defensive mind. We need to be more conscious of our defensive mind, which is just to protect what we have before we worry about the big profits. So that's another reason I didn't trade yesterday. I'm just saying, hey, I'd rather keep my balance where it is than to see it go down. Just taking a crazy trade. Um, not not making money is it's better than losing money. So it's neutral thing, but it's better than negative. Neutral is better than negative. It's not as good as positive, but it's better than negative. So keep that in your mind. It took me a long time to get to that level of patience to be able to just sit out. I always just look for something. But I think what it is, the key, what I think will help you guys out and what helped me out, the real key is having a sound strategy. That is the key. Why? Because if you have a strategy, you will know when to trade and when not to trade. Now, if you don't have a sound strategy, or if you're just dibbling and dabbling with different things, you're gonna see a lot of mirages in the market. You're gonna see a lot of things that looks like it's fitting one of your numerous strategies, and then you just jump in it. But if you have a sound strategy, one or two sound strategies, bottom line is you'll just trade when you see that setup, and if you don't see it, then you just won't trade. So that really helps you to not trade. But if you kind of come in the market kind of like randomly with random strategies, or just spur of the moment type trading, You know, you see some spike, you're jumping in it, or just trying different things. This that will make you trade when you shouldn't have traded. And that's something that I actually used to do. I didn't do sporadic trading per se, meaning like just jumping in something going up like this. What I would do is I would be testing strategies with real money. Like say my original strategy is not working. So I would, kind of have theories in my mind of what should happen if this happens, or if this happens, or if the moving average crosses or whatever. I just start trading, you know, and testing out strategies with live money. That's never a good idea. It's no problem testing out strategy, but do it with either paper money or just kind of keep up with your observations. Write them down. What happens when this happens, and make notations of it over a period of time. Not just once, because it can happen once and then never happen again, or the probability could be way under 50% of it, happening. So you need to keep a journal of such things. But anyway, yeah, no trades yesterday. Today looks like a rebound day, and I'm going to show you why. If you look at all of these charts I'm going to show you here, this is today's charts. You will see a pretty similar pattern. All right, the closest thing that I have for you guys for a watch list, which this is not the best choice, but I just had to try to find something here, was GLUU. It's spiked up here on the fact that they said that they're not going to. No, that was another person's news. But they have the third quarter earnings come out. Um, it's not the best. The reason why is because, as you can see on the daily here, a lot of resistance, a lot of moving average resistance, and it just barely got over the 50-day, which was at near the $7 area. But look where it is now. It's under the $7 area. Not to say it's gonna stay there, but just something to look at, something to keep an eye on. So it's not the best of trades. It's definitely not the best. It'll be a stretch. To call that a plus trade. It's not an A plus trade. Just keep that in mind if you're thinking about trading it. It's not tradable for me. I'll show you here. It's not tradable for me. Not on margin anyway, and that's too bad because it is shortable. As you can see, it's under 100% margin restriction, meaning no no margin. Basically, you use your own money, or you just don't trade it at all. Is what they're telling you. But it does whenever you see the short size, anything over one, maybe like 100, 1,000, or this number here, big number here. That means it's shortable to an unlimited amount of shares. So not to an unlimited amount, but I doubt it may be some people that can afford this many amount of shares or something. But you get my point. It's shortable, so that would be nice to play that. But as you can see, I can't trade it on margin, so I'm just keeping it on the watch list for guys that can. Oh man, I closed it out. All right, there it is. All right, so watch. I'm gonna show you the stocks in basically a pattern. It's gonna look like gappers on the daily. There, I mean, on the 1 minute and the 5 minutes and all that is gappers. But if you look on the daily, it's not true gappers. So when you see these stocks gapping like this, don't look at it from a micro standpoint. You have to zoom out and see what's really going on. And you will see, as you can see from here, it looks like, oh yeah, this is a true gapper. But if you look here, it's gapping into it's just basically rebounding, from the large dips it took. It took a large dip here and went down here. So it's just a rebound bounce is what I'll call it. A rebound bounce. It's not a gapper. So, you know, you have to be very careful playing these because obviously because it's down so far and it's just bouncing, then obviously it's going to be running into a lot of resistance at some point because it's so far off from its highs and higher prices. So as it's going up, it's going to be running into all of these areas here, up here, the gap, the gap fill here, then all of the moving averages. So I mean, you just have to be careful trading them. Not to say there's no money to be made in them, but you got to be careful trading them. Right now, it's at the 200-day exponential moving average, not the simple. So that's why it's key, guys, to put these indicators on your charts. Like I said yesterday, even if you don't use them or you don't believe in the moving averages, you have to put it because you have to be able to do reverse psychology. You have to be able to understand what other people are doing so you can react off of that accordingly, even if that's something you don't want to do. You got to know what other people are reacting because say you didn't have this or you didn't see any of these. Say you didn't see any of these moving averages. Right now, right, it looks like the next resistance is up here at 35. So you'll just jump straight in like, okay, it's going up, whatever. But not realizing that you got a 200-day exponential right here. Or if you didn't have the 200-day exponential, you would only see the simple. And so you'll say, oh, well, it got room up to, near $33. But you don't see that there is 200-day exponential that a lot of people do use. Some people use the simple, some people use the exponential, some people use both. So you have to the have those indicators up, if not for your own reference, for the reference of what other traders are seeing or using. But anyway, that's another stock that's with that same trend that I was speaking of. Let's go down the list here. NDLS. It's another one, spiking up from 950 to 1075. But as you can see, why it's a rebound bounce. So basically, you see the trend that I'm showing you here for today. It's just a rebound day. They can be played. I do have a strategy for it, but it's not as efficient as a gapper. So and then the probability goes down. It's not a higher probability stock to play. But it is money to be made on those, as you can see, from 950 up to 1071. That's over $1. That's over a point. So if you know what you're doing, that's a play. But for me, it's you can see what's going on here in the minute charts. A lot of these are gapping, but if you look on the daily, it's just a rebound. So keep that in mind when trading these stocks. Let's see Tesla now. Tesla is looking pretty hot. It definitely rebounded, and it's actually Tesla is about your best bet right now. Let me get rid of some of all this jargon here. But yeah, Tesla, you get the point. It hit a high at 332. So if there was anything to really look at for the day so far, and if you had the money to play it, it's Tesla. Um, TSLA. It's definitely one to watch. Keep an eye on. They had good earnings yesterday, despite the overall market being down. They're kind of actually saving the market. But yep, that's a good play. That's a good play. I won't be playing it obviously because it's way too high of a price, and I don't play those types of stocks. I don't. I'm with a small account. You have to try to really. I try to stay under $10 if I can help it. Under $10 stocks, from $3 to $10. The reason that it starts at $3 is because with SureTrader, your margin starts at $3. You can't use this margin here, this buying power here. You can't use it if the stock is under $3. If it's under $3, you can use your equity only. So if it's $2.95 or $2.50, $2.50 or dollar and some change or whatever the stock is, you'll be using your own equity. But as soon as it hits $3, like every now and then you see a stock shoot up to $2.99 and then hit $3, you can actually start to use your buying power at that point. As soon as it hits $3 and above, anything over $3, you can use your buying power, except for restricted stocks. Any stock that they have on their restricted list, um, they usually post it up daily. Actually, if I think about it, they haven't posted up lately. They usually post it every morning. The stocks that are not. Let me see something here. The stocks that are not tradable with margin. So anywho, let me get back to it. See what else is moving here. GLUU looks to be moving here based on the level two. It's a rebound here. So what usually happens is, I don't know if you've noticed, usually at 8 o'clock or just before 8 o'clock, just like we talk about um, people's emotional trading when it comes to whole dollars and half dollars. Like at the $1 mark, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 mark, $8 mark, whatever, $7 mark, or even the half dollars at the 50 cent marks. Well, guess what? This is something that doesn't get talked about much. There is decision points and a lot of action around the hourly points. Not necessarily after the bell, not usually at like 11 or 12. Sometimes even at 12, they have you have emotional plays and decision points. And we all know power hour. As soon as it hits 3 o'clock, um, they call that power hour. Um, and that also happens here in the morning. If you really pay attention over a long period of time, as such as I've noticed, right before the next hour, in the pre-markets, usually this is when it happens. The reason being is that different brokerages have different time restrictions on when their traders can start to trade. So therefore, at certain times, you'll see a large spike, such as what you just saw here. From down here at the 663 area up to nearly $7. And guess what time it was? At exactly 8 o'clock. Do you see that? So what happens is, like I said, different brokerages have different time restraints and times that they allow their traders to start trading and to stop trading. For instance, with SureTrader in particular, I know for a fact, because I'm trading with them, is that you can start using your margin, your buying power at 8 o'clock and above. You cannot use it before 8 o'clock. So if I were to try to make this trade, seeing this pop up right here at 7:59, I couldn't make the trade. Next time I'll show you guys. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll just like do a fake trade, or put a trade through, because I know it's not going to go through. And you'll see what the message says. It'll say not eligible to be traded at the moment or something like that. Um, but yeah, at certain, and then also at 9 o'clock, you Robin Hooders, you guys know, that you can't start trading with margin until 9 o'clock. And then some firms, you can't use margin at all until the bell. So there's no pre-market action for some guys. So that's why at these important points, you need to be aware of these points, because a lot of action happens around these times. So you got at 8 o'clock, and then some of them may be at 7 o'clock where they can start trading. So you see some stuff spiking up right at 7 o'clock. As you look at this, look at that 7 o'clock. So I don't know the firms that start at 7, but we need to do some research to find out what that would be, so we can kind of know what's going on. But you can see at these different hourly points at 7, what happened exactly at 7 o'clock here. Let's zoom in. What happened here? At exactly 7 o'clock is when this thing jumped up. Not at 6:42 or 6:27. At exactly 7 o'clock. Because why? Because different brokerages allow their traders to start trading. So some people, have their hand on the trigger, and just waiting for that time because they may have their knowledge of the stock or what it may do. So whatever their reasoning being, um, watch these hourly marks. That's the bottom line. Watch these hourly. Now look at 8. See what I'm saying? See from at 7 and 8, you notice what happened, and then at 9 you'll see the same thing. And not only because of that, it's another reason why, which I forgot to mention, is because um, if you keep up with the news wires, you will notice if you have a news stream, you pay for a news stream or you got a free one, whatever the case may be. But if you have it live, not even live, you can look back, but you'll notice they release news at particular times, and a lot of times they release it at the hourly mark as well, because I'm quite sure they're aware of what I just mentioned earlier. But yeah, if you pay attention, you'll notice a lot of news gets released. I'll actually give you an example right now. Well, right now you're not gonna see it happening live, but I'm gonna show you. I'll show you. Now you'll notice a lot of news comes out around the hourly mark. Now look at all this at 8 o'clock. You see this? As opposed to what? Look at all these news articles that came out at exactly 8. Now then look at these. Now you see it kind of thins out. 7:58 is very thin. 7:57 is kind of thin. 7:56 is thin, and so on and so on. You see that? But at certain points, at the 45-minute mark, the 30-minute mark of an hour, and every quarter of an hour basically, and then especially at the new hour, you get a lot. Now look at all these news articles exactly came out at exactly 8 o'clock. See, so that's another thing that pushes stocks. You have to be aware of these things. Well, you don't have to be. You can just trade the technicals, but it's good to be fully equipped. The more equipped you are in this game, man, the better. A lot of people don't know this here. So, they will maybe not trade. They will, you know, hold a stock overnight, not being aware of these time press releases, and something can go totally against you. It might be a bad news article come exactly at 8 o'clock. So you need to know, like, okay, well, maybe I need to be getting out of here before 8 o'clock, or maybe I need to be getting out of here before 7:30 or 9 o'clock exactly. You need to know these things. It's just better to be equipped. You don't have to know this to make money in the market. But look at all these 8 o'clock articles. So anyway, now then it starts to slow down at 8:03, 8:05, and you'll see it again at 9. This is just an overall news wire, so it's giving you news for every stock. Any stock that comes out with a news article. Um, Anywho, and then once 9 o'clock hits, you'll see. I'll show it to you. Well, I may not be live streaming at that point, but at 9 o'clock, it's gonna do the same thing. In between. So that's another reason that you see these big spikes at the hourly mark. So not only do you have the dollar, whole dollar, half dollar psychological levels, you have time psychological levels. 7, 8, 9, 10. Usually around the 3 hours. That's the most prevalent in the morning. 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 3 in the afternoon. So keep an eye on that. That's something I've learned over a long period of time. But anywho, yep. No trades yesterday. Today, it's just a lot of rebounding going on at the moment. Let me take a look at the overall market. Let me see what's anything that maybe have jumped out since I've been rambling on here. ACB, a recent IPO. It actually was a former company, but they're like a re-IPO to get into that cannabis field. Uh, yeah, nothing really standing out here, man. Nothing really. This is gonna be one of those days where you gotta just watch your scanners. Um, Pretty much, there's nothing really at the moment. Anyway, it may be something may jump up 8:30, something may jump up 9:15 or 8:15, but right now you can see what's going on, and these are the highest volume plays that I'm pulling up here. And by the way, I set my criteria to really only look for stocks that are um, $10 and below, or $3 and above and $10 and below. So if you notice everything that I'm pulling up here, it's just in between those levels. So it may be something popping up at 15, but I wouldn't see it right now because. But let me go ahead and pull that up now that we're talking about it. I put 15. Let's see. Yeah, right now. It's just it's. But I will say this. I mean, we're a day trading channel, but I will say, from an investing standpoint, times like this are a good time to snatch up some shares, man. Not don't go all in, but grab a starter size because it could go down even further. Not nobody says that it's gonna stop right here or stop, where it's at today. So I would just grab a little starter, and then as it goes down further, grab more because this is when the market is in the discount. But obviously, you need to do the fundamentals, make sure the company is legit before you just buy something and hold it. Make sure the fundamentals are. If the fundamentals are, solid, but it's just bad news in the market right now, that's a good stock to play when it goes down. Because the fundamentals haven't changed. The fundamentals aren't changing. It's just the fact that it's a panic selling in the market. So that is a discount for you guys. But back to day trading. Um, so yeah, nothing much here. So I'm gonna shut down my audio for now. Um, but as I said, yep, no trades yesterday, and just have to be patient. And also, when I was, watching the market yesterday, although I didn't trade, I was testing out a strategy, not with money, but just with just watching and paying attention to what's going on. And I may test that out today. If my strategy doesn't, and right now looking at the dailies on a lot of these charts, my strategy may not come into play today. Um, but I will. I did observe something. I don't know if it's fully gonna work, but I may make a trade based on that, and I'll let you guys know how that turns out. Um, it's always a good idea to research something first, test it out, not with your money, but just kind of like just do hypotheticals or look at other live plays, other stock live plays, and just kind of watch it and see if your strategy in your mind is working before you use money. And yesterday I was testing something that I think it may do something. So anyway, I'll let you guys know if I make a trade pre-market here before by 8:30. You'll see it live. Otherwise, I will do a recap for tomorrow morning. I will be here tomorrow morning. I have some things to do in the afternoon, so I'm gonna trade to my normal time pretty much. I'll be trading till about 10 o'clock. But after 10, I'll be getting out of here for sure. I won't be able to sit around and watch to see if anything else pops off tomorrow in the market. Monday, I'll be able to trade, but Tuesday and Wednesday, I will not be here next week. So just give you guys a heads up. I'll be back, and may not even be Thursday as well. So I may be back next Friday. Next Friday after. So I'll be here tomorrow. Be here Monday, but then after Monday, it may be until Friday. I'll know better as it gets closer. All right, guys. I'm here, but I'm gonna turn the audio off now. But if you have any questions, you can leave them here below, or you can leave them in the chat, or you can leave them in the comment section, or you can email me. Better to email me. I can answer it more thoroughly. MRWALKER 954 at gmail.com. So that's basically Mr. Walker 954 at gmail.com. Alrighty. Happy trading, guys.